started. Looks like the hour's here. We've got a couple of people who are gonna be out. I heard from Mr. Hofer, and I understand that, we got another that's got a job conflict today, but let's call the roll and see who we do have a quorum.
Mike Bell.
Here.
Bill Britton.
Here.
Tony Cox.
Here.
Bob Garrett.
Here.
John Hofer. Tim Horner. Keith Jackson.
Here.
Matt Lacy.
Present.
Tom Rush. Here. Dan Winter.
Here.
First item on our agenda is public comment. Anything anyone would like to share with the board this morning? Other than it's cold and it's hard to move, I understand that, but if not, your package includes the minutes from the last meeting. Any corrections, additions, or what's your pleasure?
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes stand as approved. All right, financial reports, Amy?
Okay, the financial statements were released to you all yesterday. Hopefully you received those. Just a couple of items to point out. We did receive, you'll see on the income statement, the funds from the tire disposal grant through the county that funneled, from the state that funnels through the county. Also, we have reimbursed the county for the various grants, that being the education grant, youth oil grant, and the convenience center grant, and that is listed in capital expenditures. So for the month, the net increase is just over 43,000. Of course, for the year, it shows a decrease of almost 200, but that includes over 700,000 of capital expenditures. Just an item to note as well, in February, we have, as an investment committee, agreed to transfer the funds from commercial bank to the LGIP capital fund, because the rate's just a tad bit higher there, and that has been done, like I said, in February. And then also, we've transferred the capital tipping fees through the end of 2019. If there's any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
When we segregated operating capital, what's the balance we're carrying in capital these days, just round numbers?
At the end of the month, it was $3,890,000,
Okay.
and then the transfer for the quarter was $179,581. So we're just a little over, it's about $470,000.
Okay. Tom, anything else you wanted to add on about investments and rates and so on?
The rate wasn't a big difference. We were getting about 1.49 in commercial, but we're getting 1.69. That's before the 4 basis point fee. But we're getting 1.65 net, but the difference on that much money was worth the move, so we moved those funds.
All right, any questions or comments on money? Dan, tell us what's going on.
Apologize, T-Deck inspection has not happened yet this month. He normally comes the week of our meeting, and we usually slide in at the last minute, so he has not done our monthly inspection for February. On to the next thing, we had a serious failure with our 973 loader. I apologize, we didn't get into the pack we had added at the last minute. I thought it was in there. We had failure with the final drive, which broke and wiped quite a bit of stuff out of it. And I've got a quote here to repair it as well as go through the other final drive to keep it from basically R&I, repair and inspect, anything that needs replaced in it. Also, there is a left track adjuster which has been repaired multiple times and will no longer stay out. And the only option is for a new one to be installed. And there is also a possibility of a final drive motor, which is way too high for Caterpillar to do that. Five Rivers would do that for about $5,000 if needed, if it's after it's tested and dynoed. So we'd be looking at probably at maximum probably around $26,500.
So we take that 14.2 out, is what you're saying?
That's correct. I contacted Five Rivers and they said $5,000 for the last one.
How are we doing on our maintenance budget? I was trying to look and see.
Mhm.
Yeah, we spent 40 already this year, so there's like 13 left.
53,000.
All right, and this piece of equipment's used for what?
It's used in the landfill for cover, also as a backup machine for the compactor if it goes down.
So is it in use every day?
Yes,
And it's dead in water?
it's dead in the water as we speak.
We don't have much choice, but we need something. You wanna go with this, you wanna shop for some more prices, what's your pleasure?
I make the motion that we go ahead and do this, because we don't have a choice.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion second to approve it. Any other comments, questions? If not, let's call the roll, please.
Mike Bell,
Yes.
Bob Garrett,
Yes.
John Hofer, Tim Horner, Keith Jackson,
Here.
Matt
mean, yes.
Lacy,
Yes.
Matt Lacy,
Yes.
Tom Rush.
Yes.
That's what they do in Nashville. When they don't want to take a stand, they just say here.
Present.
Amy, we'll need to look at that next month and see where we can get some savings to make an adjustment.
Cross our fingers, we don't have any more.
Yeah, that's right. It's still early in the year for
Yeah, they
busting your maintenance budget. All right, anything else, Darren?
I don't have any bad news, but if anybody's got any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
have. Other than that.
Yeah, that's enough. All right, let's hear the report from LDA.
You can see Steve's off doing a little fishing, so I'll field as many questions as I can, whatever I can, I'll take back and I'll get back to you as soon as possible, and I can get an answer I can answer, but for the action plan, monthly off-site gas monitoring conducted, and the report was submitted to TDEC with no issues noted. Also, the leachate and stormwater sampling were both completed, the samples both forwarded to the lab. We submitted the pre-treatment semi-annual leachate report to MUS electronically. Dan signed off the original this morning. We'll get it back to the office and get that submitted back to MUS early next week. The sample containers and coolers for the sample shipment ordered for the lab for the first semi-annual groundwater well sampling event. And the maintenance to well 11 will be completed prior to sampling. We're adjusting the height of the well casing and reinstalling the sampling pump, installing new sample tubing to decrease the sampling time since the well had to be hand baled previously. Yesterday, Geotech Byron Barton from Geos met with Dan and Mr. Honaker.
That meeting didn't happen.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, let's skip over that one. And for the leachate closure plan, discussing bid irregularities, lead counsel and board chairman. If there are any questions concerning the recommendation for the awarded glass contracting, we recommend the glass based on the actual bid totals. This has been the practice recommended by numerous other clients' attorneys, and we will add language to clarify how the bids will be evaluated. That being said, rebids for advertisements are ready, and proposed rebid date will be March 17th, and we will be considering bids at the March 20th meeting.
Well, all the bids have irregularities to them, is that what it was? There's 3 bids, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was. Last I talked to you, like 2 of them had irregularity, if I remember right.
Yeah, we looked at it. There were enough questions about the process that we consulted with Chris, and the recommendation was that we just reject all and go back out. It's the cleanest way to go to make sure we get good quality bids that are on a even fair footing. That's the next item of business, but any other questions on engineering before we do that? Let's roll to that item then. As you recall, last month, we did award the bid for the closure. There was some questions about the bid covers and the license numbers. There was some questions about the the math with regard to the bid totals not being the same as the written out words and so forth. There's enough questions there to where it was of some concern. Based on that, I talked to Chris and talked to Bostic, and it's my recommendation, based on those conversations, that we reject them all and go back out to bid. As you can see from the report, we're prepared to hit the ground running, get it advertised, and back ready for next time. So I think that's the best course for the landfill in the long run. But I'd like to hear your thoughts and input.
So the low bid, his bid didn't work out.
His math was wrong,
His math was wrong.
which made him low bid compared to what was written on the jacket.
I bet it's been thrown out, shouldn't it?
I can't answer that question.
So we advertise it and rebid it next meeting.
If
We'll
we,
be back in here by next meeting.
if we reject all bids to rescind the action you took at the last meeting, re-advertise, they should be back and ready for your consideration next meeting.
Need a motion?
I do.
I so move.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any other comments? Since it's a big number, let's call the roll, please.
Mike Bell,
Yes.
Bob Garrett,
Yes.
John Hofer, Tim Horner, Keith Jackson,
Yes.
Matt Lacy,
Yes.
Tom Rush.
Yes.
All right, folks. It's an unfortunate delay, but I think it's best for us in the long run, so, we'll need to make
Ball
sure,
rolling.
get it going and make sure we got, real careful about when we go through the opening process. Okay, what's the report on, recycling?
So everyone should have a copy of the tonnages for 2019. These numbers are going to be based off of the 2018 disposal tonnage. TDEC hasn't yet released the 2019 numbers, but I did pull 5 years worth of data. The number's approximately the same, so that shouldn't go up too much. You'll see that these numbers this year include public recycling of 10,770 tons. That includes 863 from Morristown, from the curbside collection. That also includes 9,906 from the county, including the curbside collection, alternate daily cover at the landfill, and other diversion activities. So far, from companies, we've collected private recycling and diversion numbers of 100,478 tons. We still haven't heard from any of the Walmart stores or Dollar Generals. The company International Paper hasn't responded yet. And I found 4 companies this year who've never sent survey results. So we have Precision Ladders, Colgate, Alcoa Hownet, and Petrovsky Plastics who will be responding. So I expect this overall diversion rate, which currently sits at 51.6%, to go up, maybe as high as 55% this year. But being so well above the 25% required number, the board can go ahead and approve the report for this year, if you're prepared to.
I was trying to remember historically where we've been. It's more than 50, but,
Usually sit right around the 50% mark.
okay.
Last year was around 52, 53.
Well, we're obligated to make a report. You feel comfortable with the numbers if you get authorization from the board today moving forward.
We can submit, and then the mayor and board chair can sign off once the board approves.
So we'll need a motion from the board to
I'll make
accept
that
the
motion.
Got a motion from Lacy. Need a second.
Second.
Second from Mr. Bell. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Submit your report and we'll get it signed. Any other new business needs to come before the board? If not, Mr. Cox needs to have a chat with us in executive session. Chris, I don't anticipate we'll have any action coming out of the meeting, so when we come out, we'll just adjourn from there, so.
There'll be no action coming out of our meeting.
No, not at the meeting, but when we come back into regular session, I think all we're gonna do is adjourn.
Oh, okay,
so.
I got you.
We'll need to enter into executive session. Chris, we just,
Everybody but the board members will need to go outside and we'll have a brief meeting and then